Hello, third grade artists. Let's talk about the famous art that we are going to make a project about. This picture is of the Aztec Sun stone, which is this very, very large sculpture that was found in Mexico about 1790. It was made much, much longer ago than that by an ancient sort of like native Mexican community called the Aztec people. They're from like central Mexico. It's kind of like how there's Native Americans. It's like native, one of the groups that were native to Mexico. So this sculpture is very, very large. It's 12 feet across and it weighs about 24 tons. So it is just huge. There's lots of different ideas about what it means. Some people think it's a calendar. Some people think that it's a sundial. Some people think that it predicts different events. So just a little bit about the Aztec people. They lived in Mexico and they were thought to be a very advanced society. So that means that they used things like numbers and they were really good at engineering, which is like problem solving, like to get water into their community and like how to build things. So they were a very advanced society, which is really cool, especially because they were around so long ago. There were many different like gods and customs in their society, which is sort of reflected in this art. We can see some different types of faces, and a lot of people have interpreted this to be showing different gods. So let's get out of that and get to our screen over here. Now, we're going to make an Aztec sun with Model Magic. This is my example. You're going to start with a round sphere of Model Magic. We're going to need scissors and a pencil today. So I kind of squished my Model Magic into a sausage kind of shape, and now I'm going to cut it in half. So you want to have two pieces. This kind of looks like a little marshmallow. I'm going to set half aside, and the other half I'm going to roll back into a little sphere. Remember, if you need to pause the video at any point, pause if I'm going too fast. So this piece will save for some of the details, and this piece we're going to squish flat. So I'm going to take my palm and kind of push it down so it gets flat. It's still pretty thick. I'm going to try to make it a little thinner by pinching with my fingers. So I'm just kind of going to pinch and turn this. It's going to be flat like a pancake. So if we go too thin, then it's going to break easily. So we don't want to go too thin. I'm going to hold up a pencil so that you can see how thick mine is. It's like the thickness of a colored pencil. So I have squeezed it flat into this nice flat pancake shape, and I'm going to take my palm again and push it so it's nice and flat on both sides. So I pushed it down. Now I have a lovely pancake. We're going to write our name on the back of our sun. Now this is not super easy to do. You can see my name a little bit because it was with a brown colored pencil, but you might not be able to see yours. It might just be kind of pushed in. And if it's hard to read, that's okay. We'll make sure we put it somewhere, your name somewhere, okay? So let's keep our name side facing up, and we're gonna start to make some little spikes, like the rays of the sun. So to do that, I'm gonna show you a couple different ways. The first way is to start with a little round sphere, pinch it flat so it's a little cookie, and then I'm going to hold the bottom of the cookie. Here, let's move this out of the way. Hopefully you can see I'm holding at the bottom, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pinch the top edge like this to make it pointy. So I made kind of like a raindrop shape. I'm going to attach that right here. I'm going to make some raindrop spike type shapes that go all the way around the edge of my sun. So you can see I stuck it on the side where my name is because when I flip it over, I want that to be attached on the back. So another way to make a little pointy ray is that you could roll it again into a little circle. Ooh, mine's bouncing away. Squish it flat. So now I have a nice little flat pancake. Now, if you have scissors, you could cut that in half, and then this makes kind of a nice shape to use for a ray of sunshine. Another idea is that you could take a little pinch of clay and roll it between your hands to make kind of like a skinny, I don't know what shape to call that. It's kind of like a little coil. That could be another way to make a ray. I'm going to finish making mine the first way. So if you want to watch that again, or if you're doing a different way, that's fine. I'm going to make a little ball, pinch it flat, hold the bottom, and then pinch the top. So I'm going to finish my raise that way. Make sure you're saving a little bit of, oh, I'm sorry, I'm making a video, John. Make sure you're saving a little bit so we have some to make a face. So I'm making a lot of rays. On my example, I only made 4. So that's up to you what you want to do. I think I'm going to do one more like this, just to have a little variety. So make sure those are stuck on really good. And then we're going to flip it over. So now we're going to work on this smooth side of our Model Magic. Let's start by making a nose. I'm going to tear a little piece of the clay. Now, there's lots of ways to make a nose. I would always start with kind of like a little round sphere shape, a little circle ball shape, and pinch that. You can kind of pinch and turn it so that it gets a little longer. If you want it to be flat on the bottom, you could kind of push it with your finger to make it flat. If you want it to be pointy on the top, you could kind of pinch the top so it gets pointy. So I am just going to kind of pinch and form this nose so that I have a shape that I like. And I am also going to use my pencil to poke some little nostrils in there because I think that's kind of a fun detail. So your nose is going to go right in the center of your sun. See how it's sticking out? We want our nose to stick out. Now let's make some eyes. We need 2 eyes for our sun. So I'm going to start with 2 little pieces, and I'm going to start by rolling them into little round balls. They're like little green peas. Now, if you want to, you could hold it kind of in your hands like this and kind of pinch the sides. And then I'm going to kind of squish it flat also. Whoops. So that makes more of like an almond shaped eye. If you want to just have a round eye that's just a circle, that's fine too. So if you want to make it more like an almond, we're going to pinch it. So it's a little flat cookie, and then we're going to pinch both the sides like that. So then it makes it kind of a little different shape. I'll show you up close. My other one I did nice and round. The last shape we need to talk about is to roll a coil. A coil is like a really long, skinny rope. So Model Magic, it works really well to roll coils. So I'm just going to roll back and forth this little piece of Model Magic, so I'm getting like a really long, skinny snake. And then let's use that to form a mouth. So my sun is nice and happy. So I'm going to start by doing a curve. And then I'm going to make a straight line across the curve so that I have this really big, happy mouth. Now, maybe you're going to do your mouth different. That's fine. That's how I'm going to do mine. I'm also going to add some eyebrows up here, which I think is a really important, fun detail. So now I've added all the parts. So make sure you have a nose, eyes, mouth, eyebrows. I have a little bit more. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some more details. If you have all the parts, the last thing to do is to use your pencil or scissors, or maybe you have some other tool to add some texture to your clay, to your Model Magic. Now, when we're adding texture, I want you to be thoughtful with how you put texture on your sun. So we're not just punching a bunch of holes in there. We're going to thoughtfully add some texture so that he has sort of like a feeling. I really like that. I like to add texture around the edge. So I have a little more. I'm not sure what I'm going to make with this. Maybe I'll make a little cinnamon roll and put that somewhere. Maybe up here, like a little accessory for him. But that is as far as I want you to get with your sun. And if you finish, then you can start to color your sun. You just have to be very careful so he doesn't get squished. All right? Happy creating.